Let's go through the reshanking process, which you may need to do if the shank has been worn down. In this case, we are going to upgrade to a CLIQ adjustable shank. The first step is we want to determine basically what's up and down. So I know that this is the bottom of the ring, and I use this graph to kind of plot it out just in degrees and decide how much I want to cut off and where. So this being 12, this is more or less 3 and 9. Use the same indicators. Let's cut the other one so that everything is cut in the same spot at the right angle. Now that this is all mapped out, I'll just kind of verify. It's looking like I'm on the same page here. Now we're going to saw it at the angle, treating every cut at 6 o'clock. It gives me the angle that I want to line everything up. You just have to find a comfortable way to do it, and it kind of depends on how you hold it in your hand. Now we're going to go over the angles to make sure this all lines up. When you cut them in the same spot using that graph, it comes out very close. So what I'll do now is use some files to fine-tune the cuts. It's where it fits pretty flush, so less solder is needed. And now using some half-round nylon pliers, I'm just going to make a slight adjustment to the curvature here to bring it in just a hair. What's important is lining up the inside because that's what determines your size of your ring. You'll do very little prep and cleanup on the inside of the ring. The more material you take out of that, the bigger the ring will get. So it's important that it fits pretty close. So that looks good. I'm going to clean this and we'll go over to the laser and tack it in place before I solder it. Now I'm just making some last minute adjustments. Make sure all of this is flush on the inside. It's important when you flow the solder to stay away from the CLIQ shank hinges, just so that that part of the ring is not fused together in any way. The solder joints are here, and the CLIQ shank hinges are up here. I'm really just going to be heating down here without messing with any of the mechanical stuff, because at that point you just end up with a solid ring. We're adding boric acid and alcohol to protect the metal from oxidation. The alcohol burns off, leaving a coat of acid for protection. Where the joints are, I'll add the flux, which helps the solder flow. Again, we're heating where the solder joints are and staying far away from the CLIQ shank hinges. And now I'm just testing that the CLIQ shank hinges are still operational. We'll get this back around without damaging the hinge. But this looks all good. If there was any issue with finger size, it would be addressed now by either removing metal to make it smaller or adding metal to one of the existing solder joints. Next up, I'm going to prep the inside using a small abrasive wheel just to blend around the solder joint and clear off any excess solder. Above the hinge and the clasp is where I'll do the tapering to match the CLIQ shank to the mounting. Basically, I have to come in here and taper this end to meet, also here, which isn't as much. And then we could come back and soften all these edges and make it a little more appealing and comfortable. So now I'm just going to use this Visi wheel for a good bit of this process. Now I'm going to switch over to some files. Just blending that small detail where it bridges over right here. Now I'm going to go with the sandpaper buff stick from coarse to fine and blend all this in, get the scratches out. Let's switch over to the rubber wheel. This is a green one. It's about a medium coarseness. It lifts out any deep scratches or tool marks. This is a pit wheel or a margin roller. Pits will show up in the solder line. And I'm just going to touch it up once more with the banana sandpaper before we send to prep and polish. Here's our new ring with the CLIQ adjustable shank.